Murathe is at it again. He says that the law does not bar Uhuru from running as deputy president. I don't know whether this is misleading or it's the truth. I've been trying to peruse the constitution. Former Jubilee Vice Chairperson David Murathe continued with his onslaught against Deputy President William Ruto with fresh claims that the law doesn't explicitly bar the president from serving an extra terms in office. Murathe, who resigned from his party position 3 weeks ago, also claimed that the anti-corruption conference held last week was convinced to discuss Dr. Ruto, and that he was surprised to see him in attendance. I mean, first of all, is it true that nothing stops the president from running as deputy president?
Well, if you want me to take the first shot, I think one, we would have to agree as we get into this debate that that Murathe is exercising his freedom as a Kenyan, as an individual, to test probably various options and interpretations of the law, which is his right. I mean, he can seek that interpretation, the other interpretation, probably to satisfy himself. The fact of the matter is that, remember, he resigned as a member of, as a leader in Jubilee, and so he's doing that now in his private capacity, and nothing stops him from those ventures as a Kenyan. I mean, you can go and exercise and want to seek any information, and of course that's protected under the law. The question one would be asking is really what import or impact does it have in the real way of things and how things turn out? That's another different story, because constitutionally, he currently doesn't hold any office that would change that. Now, secondly, if then this was to be then taken to the question literally, are these things possibilities? There are many areas in the constitution that would leave, one would say, in a layman's language, lacunas, and of course, all those questions about can the Putin scenario of Russia be replayed in Kenya, that you can leave this position and then run for the other one. All those are discussions that can be held. But in my view, when we talk about having a referendum, we are speaking about wanting to polish and fine-tune most of these things that are still now emerging to be quite grey, so that we can have a clear way forward.
Okay.
On whether a president can run for deputy, I think that's, you know, that's a pretty adventurous in my view. I mean,
because I'm struggling with the fact that a deputy president would be the acting president in case the president is not around or is incapacitated. So if that was the case and President Uhuru Kenyatta is elected deputy president in 2022, and then in 2023 have a situation that requires him to act as the president, then that would be an extra term.
No, but you know, just to summarize, I would doubt that the president would be willing to be cantankerous. I mean, you know, playing around.
That's okay. I'm just concerned
about this president, but it's about the law. And we are saying that you must read the letter and the spirit of the law together. And I don't think that the Constitution would clearly spell it out that the president can only serve 2 terms, and then you say on the third, if he wants to go a third term, let him now become a deputy president. I think we must look at the spirit of the Constitution, of the law, which intends that after the president has served for 2 terms, then he has no business being part of that presidency. So I think Murathe is being mischievous, and I think he's just having fun playing around.
He's taking us for a ride.
Yeah, but I also want to say this, that if Murathe actually thinks that the anti-corruption conference that was held last week, and we had a huge sums of money spent there, and we had many people spending or giving their time to participate in that conference, if it was solely for the deputy president, then that, I think, is totally wrong. And the country could not have wasted resources and wasted its time just to have a conference like that for the deputy president. I think what Murathe is doing is taking us back and already making people feel that anything that the government or the private sector or the people of Kenya put their minds to is for someone. When you look at when you do that, then I think you're taking us totally back. We do things for the country, and we do things to better the country and to move the country forward, and not for an individual. So he's bringing in a lot of antagonistic.
It's okay.
No, okay.
Finally, Senator Halwale, have the final word on this.
Yes, as they say, the more things change, the more they remain the same.
Okay.
I remember once upon a time, at such a critical moment of transition in the history of this country, a police commissioner slapped the vice president, Moi, just because he couldn't take the fact that this man is likely to become head of state. He wanted to remind him that you're just a vice president, you're not going to be anything. I'll not be surprised if it is not strong tribal emotions that are driving Murathe. But thank God, where we are now, I don't think Murathe, there are many Kenyans who are still listening to him.
Right.
The best you can call him is that he's just a gadfly. That's all.
All right, and I just want to look at some feedback. Steve Ogola is saying that we cannot glorify Raila swearing in because it was unconstitutional and sets a dangerous precedent. It should never happen again. We must learn to solve political problems within the law. Someone else is saying that when it comes to technology, the world must come to understand that religion and science must go hand in hand to avoid misuse of technology. That principle has to be enhanced. That is Wafula from Gashie.